A table stands alone in the dark, scattered with objects. The player reaches out, picking up each item one by one. But be careful, you never know what might happen. In this tutorial, we'll create a pickup system in Unreal Engine 5. So, let's jump right in. Hello everyone, it's Human here. Let's start by choosing a third-person template and pick a name for our project. The first thing we're gonna do is to adjust the camera for the character. The template is third person, so we're gonna adjust the camera for the first person view. Open up your contents browser and look for third person character blueprint. Go to viewport and select camera boom. Now in the details panel, change the arm length to 0. Drag the camera boom and drop it inside the mesh. After that, from details panel, attach the camera to player's head. Reset the location and bring it a little bit forward. After that, search for lag in details panel and enable camera rotation lag. And set the speed value to 15. Next, select character movement and search for rotation. Uncheck orient rotation to movement and check use controller desired rotation. Alright, compile it and let's test it out. Our camera and character are working perfectly. The next step is to create a basic interaction using line trace. Let's start with creating a simple crosshair. Open up your contents browser, inside content folder create a new folder and name it main. I'm gonna change the main folder color to blue, that'll make it easier to spot later. Now inside main folder create another folder and name it blueprints. Inside blueprints create another folder and name it UI. Inside it right click and create a widget blueprint. I'm gonna name it WBP Crosshair. Let's open it up. Just add a canvas panel and put an image inside it. Select the image and set alignment to 0.5. Then set the anchor to center and reset the position. Now if you change the size to 8 by 8, you'll have a simple crosshair. In order to see the crosshair when running the game, we should create and then add it to the viewport. So, let's find third-person player controller. Add a pin on the sequence node here. Drag from it and type create widget. Choose the crosshair class and add the result to the viewport. Compile it and we're done with the crosshair. Okay, let's move forward and shoot a line trace when player presses E key. In character blueprint, go to event graph and search for E key. The best practice is to create an input action, but for the sake of time, I'm not gonna do that. Add a function and name it line trace. Drag from the input and search for line trace by channel. The start location of the line is going to be the start position of follow camera. And for the end location, first you should know where the player is looking at, which is forward vector. Then multiply it by a value, which I'm going to multiply it by 80 here, and add it to the start location of follow camera. You can change the draw debug type to test if the line trace is working fine. Now let's get back to the event graph, drag the line trace to the graph and call it when the E key is pressed. Compile it and let's give it a try. Works perfectly. Now let's move on and see what happens when the line hits an item. Drag from outhead and break the results. We need the hit actor to be the item. Our item is going to have an interaction interface, so we're gonna check it by if it implements that interface. For now, just type does object implement interface, and we're gonna make the interface in a second. Open up your content browser and create a folder inside blueprints and name it interfaces. Go inside the folder, right-click and create a blueprint interface. I'm gonna name it BPI interaction. Open it up and rename the function to interact and pass the third-person character as parameter. Compile it and let's get back to the event graph. Now make a branch and connect the condition. If the object implements our interface, call the interact message function. This is going to call the interact function on the item, which we're gonna create in a second. Make sure to connect the target to hit actor and reference the character as self. All good, let's move on and create our items. Open up your content browser and create items folder inside blueprints. Inside items, right-click and create a blueprint actor and name it BP base item. The first thing we need to do is to add a static mesh and a scene component to our components. A static mesh is for our item mesh and the scene component is for the hand location. The character's hand should go towards the hand location. For the next step, from class settings, just add BPI interaction interface to item interfaces. Okay, after that from advanced section, check generate abstract class. The base item is not going to be instantiated and we're gonna make subclasses from the base class. For our first item, in your content browser, right-click on base item and create a child class from it. Name it BP Ammo Box. Now we need static meshes for our items. I have prepared 5 items for this project. You can use the link in the description to get the files. Let's create a meshes folder inside our main folder. If you check out the meshes folder, there are 5 FBX files. Create a folder for each FBX file and then drag-drop it inside the folder. I have imported all the files. There's just an issue with the bottle material. Open it up. Just keep the 3 vector node and delete the rest and connect it to the base color. Now let's get back to items folder. Create a subclass from base item for all the meshes in the meshes folder. I'm gonna go through the items one by one and set the static meshes on them. Just keep in mind, when you set the static mesh, make sure the item is touching the x-axis and it's not below or upper than it, so that when you drag the item to the scene, it touches the ground perfectly. Let's get back to the scene and create a table to put the items on. The animation that I'm gonna use is designed for a specific height, which is 1 meter, so make sure to set the Z value to 104. Now let's add some of the items on the table to see if our interaction is working. You can select the actor and press End on your keyboard to make the item touch the table exactly. Now open up your base item blueprint, double click on Interact function and print a string to see if the interaction is working. I have also forgot to select the BPI interaction class here. Now if you run the game and press E while looking at the item, you can see the hello string is being printed. So the interaction logic is working perfectly. Now let's move on to importing our pickup animation. I'm gonna use free sample animation set, which is completely free on Fab, which only includes one pickup animation. As you can see, I have free sample animation set here. Let's create an animation folder inside the main folder and move the animation to the main folder. Let's also replace the skeleton with SK mannequin. Alright, let's go to base item blueprint, and it's time to play the pickup animation when the interaction happens. I'm not gonna play the animation inside the base item. The animation is related to the character, so let's do it by creating an interface. Go ahead and create an interface and name it Character Actions. Rename the function to Play Pickup Montage. Also add base item as input. After compiling it, let's get back to base item and call the Play Pickup Montage function. Connect the character to target and reference the item as self. Go ahead and add BPI character actions to third-person character interfaces. Now double-click on Play Pickup Montage to add the function to the graph. Drag from it and look for Play Montage node. Drag the mesh in a skeletal mesh component. Alright, in order to play the montage, we need to create a montage from our animation. Right-click on it and from Create menu choose Create Anim Montage. Now assign it to Play Montage. Okay, let's see how it works. As you see, the animation is playing when you press E key. But we have two issues. The object is not attaching to player's hand, and two, the hand is not going toward the object. So let's fix these issues. Open up your content browser and open Item Pickup Animation. Click on a skeleton icon here to open the skeleton. What I'm trying to do here is to attach items to character's hand. In order to do this, we should define sockets in the right hand of the character. First, from here, change the preview animation to our pickup animation. In the bone hierarchy, find hand_R, which is the right hand of the character. Right-click on it and add 5 sockets for all the items we have. In this step, I'm gonna attach the corresponding mesh to the socket and adjust the position for the hand. Now I'm gonna pick a moment in animation where the character is trying to pick up the item. Now that all the sockets have been adjusted, let's get back to our third-person character blueprint. I'm gonna implement the attach operation inside base item blueprint, so we need to add a function to BPI interaction interface. Open up BPI interaction interface, add a function and name it handle pickup. We should attach the item when the hand reaches it. So we need to add two anim notifies on our montage, one for attach to hand and another for detach from hand. So let's open our animation montage. Pick a moment which picking up is actually happening and add a notify. Name it attach to hand. Also pick a moment which character is putting the item in his pocket. Add a notify and name it detach from hand. Alright, now in third-person character blueprint, add a switch on notify name. Connect the execution pin from on notify begin. Add two pins on switch, one for attach to hand and one for detach from hand, just like our montage notifies. Drag from attach to hand and call handle pickup function. Connect the item to target. Get back to base item blueprint. Double-click on handle pickup to add the event to the graph. We also need the third-person character as input on handle pickup event. So open the interface and add the input. To attach the item to character's hand, we can use attach actor to component. The parent is going to be the character skeletal mesh. And the target is the item that we are currently in, so reference it to self. In order to identify the item which the character is touching, let's create a variable and name it item name. For the variable type, let's create an enumeration and include all the items' name. Create a folder inside blueprints and name it enums. Right-click and from blueprint menu, create an enumeration. Let's name it e_item name. Now let's just add the item's name one by one. Alright, let's change the type to item name. Compile the base item and after that let's open item blueprints one by one and choose the right name for them. The main reason we added item name is to create a mapping of item names and socket names. Add a new variable and name it item name underscore socket mapping. In the details panel, change the type to map and select name for the value type. Compile it so we're able to change the default value. Click the plus icon 5 times to match the number of our items. Now, as the value, type the socket name which we defined in character skeleton. Compile it and drag the mapping to the graph. We're gonna find the value using the item name. Connect the return value to socket name and change all of these to snap to target. One more thing, I forgot to reference the character as self in character blueprint. Okay, let's take a look at the results. The item attaches to the hand correctly, but I think there is an issue with collision. Let's disable the collision before the item attaches to the hand. Let's also destroy the actor when detached from hand is triggered. Alright, we are done with the attachment logic. Now let's fix the hand which should go towards the item when picking it up. Open third-person character blueprint. In the details panel from anim class, click on browse icon to open ABP unarmed, which is our animation blueprint class. Let's go to the anim graph. Add a CCDIK node after control rig. With CCDIK node selected, look at the details panel. Change the effector location space to world space. Change the tip bone to hand underscore R. And change the root bone to clavicle underscore R. Promote the alpha to variable and name it hand R underscore IK underscore alpha. This value tells the node when to be activated. When the value is at 1, it means it's fully activated. We're gonna set this value using a curve on our animation sequence. Also promote effector location to a variable. This is the location the character's hand moves toward. Rename it to item location. Now let's move on to the event graph. Let's first change the character variable type to third-person character blueprint. Now add a pin on the sequence node, drag the hand RIK alpha to the graph and click on set. Connect the execution pins. Right click and type get curve value. I'm gonna define a curve on the pickup animation sequence in a second. Just connect the return value to alpha. After defining the curve on the animation, we're gonna put the name here. Let's move on and open the pickup animation. Under the curves, add a new curve and name it hand RIK alpha. I'm gonna show you the final curve values that I made. You can copy and paste them to your project. I set these values in a way which when character's hand is getting closer to the item, the curve should represent 1, otherwise it should be 0. I have also added some values in between for smoother animation. Alright, let's continue by putting the curve name into getCurveValue node. Next step is to set the item location. We should get the item location from the character. So we need to store last traced item location inside our character blueprint. Go to line trace function in character blueprint, add a variable and name it last trace item location. Set the location before calling the interact function. From the hit actor, get actor location and connect it to last trace item location. Now let's get back to animation blueprint and set the item location. Okay, let's give it a try. You can see the hand reaching for the item, but the position is off. It's grabbing the item from the bottom. If you remember, we added a scene component for the hand location to the base item. Instead of taking the item's location for hand placement, we'll use the scene component to define it ourselves. Let's go through all items and adjust the scene component for hand location. Now that we specified the hand location on the item, let's get back to line trace function and get the hand location instead of actor location. In order to do this, we should define a new function in BPI interaction interface. Open it up, add a new function and name it getItem. Add the actor as input and BP item as output. After this, we should implement the get item inside base item. Go to base item blueprint and double click on get item. Just cast the actor to base item and return it. Now cast the hit actor to item and get the hand location from it. Alright, everything looks good, let's test the game. Maybe we could adjust the hand location a little bit more, but it's fine. For the last step, let's add some sounds. I have prepared a grab sound and put in pocket sound. Create a sounds folder inside the main folder and let's import the sounds. Now inside animation montage, create a track and name it sounds. Add the grab sound under attach to hand notify and add the put in pocket sound under the detach from hand notify. Let's adjust them a little bit. And now let's look at the final results. Alright, that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out and keeps me motivated to make more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching.